Okay, anscheinend gibt es dann noch irgendwo ein Ending bei diesem Tisch. Da soll man anscheinend irgendwie raufkommen. Ich habe aber keine Ahnung wie. Okay. Oh, genau das war's. Oh,
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
no.
Then in that case, we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other options so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers.
Kann ich den... Kann ich... Okay. Ich muss das Spiel neu starten.
Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Yes.
Well, I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just hit escape and restart the game any old time you want, like right now. You could have done it just then. Now would also be an appropriate time to quit. Any of these points and so many, many more, all of them are appropriate. I'm enjoying what seems to be an internal conflict going on where you are literally unable to act on your own desires to restart the game. So, just to push the envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible and see how long you can maintain. There once was a man named Stanley, who people considered so manly. But the truth must be told, he was not very old and was quite particularly gangly. What Stanley liked most was buttons. He pushed them like some kind of glutton. He did it all day in a meaningful way, but his brain had long ceased to function. Which is why he is in this parable and lives an existence quite terrible. And if you are not strong and keep playing along, you too will become quite unbearable. You too will become quite unbearable.
Okay, spielt jetzt nur noch Gitarre, bis ich Escape drücke und zurückkomme, oder? Ein bisschen kann ich noch warten. Okay, ja, das ist ein Endlosloop. Spiel neu starten, yeah. Okay, dann... Ach ja, ich weiß noch ein Ende, was ich noch nachgeguckt habe. Warte mal. Wo läutet das Telefon? Ist das? Nee.
Hi, Stanley. I just message to let you know there's a few things I need you to pick up on your way home from work today. We need milk, cereal, dish soap, spaghetti, get a thing of sugar, some bread, and coffee beans, whichever ones you like. I'll give you a call if there's anything I forgot. Thanks, sweetie. See you tonight.
Okay.
Here's the door.
Okay. Ich glaube, das war die Tür. Ja, okay. Okay. Ah ja, jetzt ist die Tür wieder offen. Dann gehen wir halt einfach mal zurück. Der Erzähler sagt gar nichts, okay. Es ist angeblich ja möglich, dass man manchmal da hinter einem Fenster doch noch einen Mitarbeiter sieht, aber anscheinend gerade nicht. Möglich ist, dass da die Türen auch offen sind, okay. Egal. Da ist eine neue Tür offen. Okay. Was ist das? You are now leaving. Was? Wir kommen wirklich raus? Warte, das ist die rote Tür. Ist aber anscheinend nicht dieselbe. Escape Pod Bay. Room 7060. Oh, okay, wir müssen ein paar Stockwerke rauf. Können wir die Tür aufmachen? Anscheinend nicht. Auch wenn es kurz gelaggt hat. Okay, dann gehen wir halt einfach mal weiter rauf. Spooky. Stanley. Wir kommen raus. Oh, überall rote Türen, okay. So. Oh Gott, warum lag es jetzt so? Ich glaube, ich sollte mal die Aufnahme vielleicht neu starten. So, okay. Hoffentlich geht es jetzt wieder ein bisschen besser, weil ich glaube, die Datei wurde schon ziemlich groß und damit ist ja Fraps manchmal ein bisschen überfordert. Gehen wir weiter hoch, auch wenn die Räume trotzdem gleich aussehen, bis auf die Nummern. 758, okay, wir müssen zu 760. Schon brutal, wie viele Stockwerke das Gebäude hat. Wie viele Stockwerke hat das höchste Gebäude der Welt? Wäre interessant, wenn das jemand in den Kommentaren sagen könnte. Ich kann es auch einfach selbst googeln, aber zu faul. Okay. Escape Pod Launch Bay. Escape! Yes! Okay, einfach weiter geradeaus gehen. Aus dem Gebäude mit einer Fluchtkapsel fliehen, oder wie? Wo ist es? Aha, das war's, okay. Nicht mal eine Sequenz oder so, wie wir fliehen. Ah, und da können wir immer wieder jetzt in den Dings. Okay, ich glaube... Ach ja, ein Ending gibt's noch, aber da ist das Doofe. Ich habe jetzt keine Konsole offen. Ich brauche schnell einen Knopf, um die Konsole aufzumachen. Oder warte mal. Nee, okay, es funktioniert nicht mit wie manchmal. Okay. Bearbeiten. Wo haben wir denn die Konsole? Console. Kann ich das irgendwie... Okay, das sah zwar nicht wie ein aus. Ah, es geht, okay. Und zwar gibt es ja in den Source-Spielen, dass man SV-Cheats 1 eingibt, dann kann man so zum Beispiel einfach No-Clip machen etc. und das aktivieren. Und ja, da könnte man einfach so zum Ende springen und das mache ich mal.
Stanley, this is me being serious. In fact, this is my serious room. It's where I come to be serious. That table is the most serious table I could find. I looked at many, many tables, hundreds of tables. It's possible I looked at over 1,000 tables. I honestly don't know. The specific number isn't as important as the understanding that of all tables I looked at, this one is the most serious. I relate this story to impress upon you the extent to which this is the most serious room I have, which is why I brought you here. You just tried to activate server cheats, which of course runs the risk of breaking the entire game. You've got no respect for the strict order of scripted narrative events, and I just can't have that. It's time to get serious, Stanley. No jokes, no games. Outside of this room, I might be more tolerant of those things, but now we're in the room. Which is why I'm subjecting you to the most serious punishment I can think of. 100 billion trillion years standing here in the serious room. Perhaps after that, we can talk about the severity of your actions and whether you've learned anything. But until then, serious room, go.
Ernster Raum, wir sind jetzt total ernst. Ernster Raum, ernster Raum, ich kann nicht raus. Ja, ganz toll. Ernster Raum. Ach Gott. Ja. Dann stelle ich mich in die Ecke und denke drüber nach, was ich getan habe. Okay. Das ist nicht so doof. Kann ich das nochmal machen? SVG. Hey, es wurde ausgeschalten. Hey, ich will es nochmal machen.
Whoa! Did we not have the talk? Are we not in the serious room this very moment? Did I not tell you how many tables I looked through? I'm going to be conservative and say it was somewhere in the tens of thousands of tables. Any reasonable person would say I spent an absurd amount of time doing nothing but looking at tables, and I genuinely considered each one too. I took a hell of a lot of notes. I kept the notes in a different room. That room is less serious than this one. It's more of a notes room. Again, the point of this story is to convey how serious I feel this cheating issue is. And I'm sure you'll agree with me once you've fulfilled your new punishment. Infinity years in the serious room. I generally have trouble reading human emotions, but I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that you're devastated by this crippling new punishment. As well you should be. It's the most serious I could think of. Can you get more serious than that? No, you can't. Don't try.
Dann halt nochmal. Cheats. 1.
Still no effect. The problem is clearly the serious room. It isn't serious enough. That's on me, Stanley. I apologize. I'm going to the store to look through more tables. Hopefully I find one that conveys how wrong what you're doing is. Now, where did I put those notes?
Okay, das war's. Ich will so lange, bis er entweder nichts mehr sagt oder ja, mich gehen lässt. Okay, er sagt nichts mehr. Das ist ja wirklich aufgegangen, okay. Aber bei sowas denke ich mir manchmal wirklich, wie soll man davon selbst drauf kommen. Da muss man wirklich jeden Scheiß ausprobieren, oder? Okay, schauen wir mal, was passiert.